Yo, what's good everyone? Today I'm going to be breaking down some of my favorite DraftKings plays for tonight's 12-game NHL slate. Let's dive right into it. And like I always do here in these videos, I'm going to give you a high-level overview of my cheat sheet, breaking down some of my favorite DraftKings plays here tonight for this 12-game NHL slate. But as always, everyone, just want to remind you and highly recommend joining my Discord channel. You can see that mentioned above, completely free to do. We have over 860 people in there talking multiple sports for DFS, but primarily NFL and NHL. If you want to join that, there's a link to do so in the description below, as well as in the pinned comment below. With that being said, let's dive into the cheat sheet here. We're going to kick it off with a couple of line stacks that I like here for tonight. Now, with 12 games, there's a handful of different line stacks that stuck out to me, and I honestly tried to highlight those within the individual plays, and I'll explain that once we get to there. But one line stack that I like for sure here tonight is this first line for the Columbus Blue Jackets. We got Monahan centering Voronkov and Marchenko, two Russians there on the wing. They got a good matchup here against the Detroit Red Wings here tonight, a team that's really struggled on the penalty kill all year long. They have the second worst penalty kill on the season, hitting at just a 69% rate. And this power play here for Columbus has been really good in their last 5 games, scoring at almost a 39% rate. And all 3 of these guys here play up on the Blue Jackets' #1 power play. And then another line stack that I like here tonight is this second line for the Tampa Bay Lightning, where we got Cirelli centering Hagel and Geekie. Now, don't get me wrong, I like that first line as well. If you wanted to roster Point, Kucherov, and Gensel, I absolutely think they're in play, but that's very expensive to roster those 3, especially if you want to mix in someone like a Victor Hedman and stack up their power play. And I like this second line here considering how well Cirelli and Hagel have played together this year, and Connor Geekie, very affordable at $3,200. You're going to see all 3 of these guys get some sort of power play time. Hagel up on the first power play, Cirelli and Geekie on the #2 power play, and a good matchup here against the San Jose Sharks, a team that really struggled in December. Now, folks, before we dive into some of these individual plays here, if you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. It's completely free to do, and every like, comment, and sub that you guys leave here truly does help me out. Alright, now diving into some of these individual plays here, we're going to kick it off with the forwards. And I mentioned earlier when we were going through the line stacks that there were a handful of line stacks that stuck out to me on this 12-game slate, and I was going to try and highlight that within the individual plays, and that's exactly what I'm doing here. So Brock Besser of the Vancouver Canucks, Arturi Lehkonen of the Colorado Avalanche, Gabriel Velarde of the Winnipeg Jets, Jason Robertson of the Dallas Stars, and Victor Olofsson of the Vegas Golden Knights. All 5 of these guys here are currently playing up on the first line and #1 power play, offering some really nice value considering the matchup and their price. So if you're a cash game player, these are usually the players that I gravitate towards, guys who are relatively affordable, playing up on the first line and #1 power play, and offering that value. Now, moving on to the defensemen here, I went back and forth between Cale Makar and Zach Werenski as kind of the top spend-up option tonight. Ultimately landed on Werenski here, really due to the same reason that I highlighted earlier with that first line for Columbus. Detroit has really struggled on the penalty kill this year, and Werenski is truly one of the best well-rounded defensemen in the NHL. Jacob Chychrun here, I like the matchup against Minnesota, a team that's really struggled on the penalty kill themselves this year. He's currently getting time up on that #1 power play. He's more so a tournament player. Really don't love him in cash, but he is someone who offers 25, 30-plus DraftKings point upside. Jake Sanderson here started the season on a really high note, then his price on DraftKings kind of matched that. He was in the 5K range, teasing the 6K range, but then he didn't play very great hockey towards the end of November and December, at least when it comes to DraftKings points, but he's really started to figure that out here again. He's had some really nice games as of late, currently playing up on that #1 power play, logs 22-plus minutes per night, so I do like him at that price. And then if I'm looking to save some money here, Mason Lohrei stuck out to me for the Boston Bruins at $2,700. He's been flirting on that #1 power play, but for sure going to be locked into the #2 power play, and a good matchup here against the New York Rangers, a team that really checked out in December. And then I got a couple of goaltenders here for you, kicking it off there with Adin Hill as a spend-up option and Dustin Wolf as kind of a cheaper option. Now, I do want to mention this. If for some reason Logan Thompson starts tonight for the Washington Capitals, he's absolutely in play for me as well. But the Capitals have been rotating him and Charlie Lindgren all year long, and I believe that Lindgren's going to play here tonight. But again, if for some reason they give the nod to Thompson, he's in my player pool as well. I like Adin Hill here, the Vegas Golden Knights if I'm going to spend up for a goalie as well, though. Vegas is just such a strong defensive team, especially at home, and I don't mind the matchup there against the Philadelphia Flyers. And then Dustin Wolf there, the Calgary Flames, has been really good overall this year. He's had a few down games, but for the most part been pretty solid, and I don't mind the matchup at home tonight for Calgary against Utah. Calgary's surprisingly been a solid defensive team all year long, and the Utah Hockey Club really not pumping in a lot of goals as of late. And as always, going to wrap up this video here with 3 low-priced options or sub-4K forward plays, and I actually have 6 for you all. We got Jaden Schwartz there, the Seattle Kraken, someone who offers really nice upside, 20-25 plus DraftKings point upside, getting plenty of opportunity on the Kraken right now. Jonathan Drouin back in the lineup for the Colorado Avalanche, was playing on that second line with Mikko Rantanen last game, but up on the number 1 power play. And then Robbie Fabry here of the Anaheim Ducks has kind of found his scoring touch as of late. 4 goals, 4 assists, 8 points in his last 10. Really affordable there as well at $2,600 for a guy who plays on the second power play, albeit a tough matchup tonight against the Winnipeg Jets. And 3 other guys that I got here, Shane Pinto of the Ottawa Senators, currently centering that first line with Tkachuk and playing on the number 2 power play. You got Charlie Coyle up on the first line for the Boston Bruins, and then Jack Quinn of the Buffalo Sabres has found his scoring touch a bit here as of late too. Had some really nice DraftKings performances with 10, 19.5, 17.8, and 3 of his last 4 games. Alright everyone, that is going to wrap up this video here for today. As always, thank y'all for taking the time out of your day to watch the content here on this channel. If you could like this video and subscribe to the channel, I would greatly appreciate that. Let's have ourselves a great day here, folks, and let's win some money on this 12-game NHL slate.